Right, boys, so week 2 of trading in 2025 is over, and this week we made $613.8 on each account, so that is about 1.2k up on the express funded accounts this week. So let's start breaking them down. We took 2 trades, one on Monday and one on Thursday, so let's get into Monday's trade. Okay, so on Monday I wasn't really feeling anything early in the session, but as the session did develop, we did get these equal highs and equal lows. So after that formed, we basically ran up here, sweep the highs, and then I was able to catch a short down towards the lows. I didn't get the full take profit on this trade because obviously it didn't reach my end goal, but I was able to take a partial in there and then got stopped out at break even on my other contract that was on the trade. So let's dive down into the entry. So as you can see here, we consolidated at the end of London, and then we ran up here and formed some equal highs, which I'll just mark out as buy side, and then we ran down here and formed equal lows just after open. So you can already see them marked out there. We have this low here left behind from London, and then this low here that we formed it just after we opened. So then basically when I have equal highs and equal lows on both sides of the market, it'll be like a sit still, like don't take a trade unless you're like absolutely certain, which it's very rare to be. Most of the time I will just wait until one side gets swept and then I will trade towards the other direction. So as you can see here, we performed that low, ran up, swept the buy side, and then we had a nice little 2022 short right there. So I entered down there, stop loss above this first candle because this was a pretty big wick. I actually can't remember. My stop loss would have either been at just above the midpoint, or it would have been at the high of this candle. I'm pretty sure in this trade it was at the high of that candle. So then obviously targeting the lows, we didn't get the full trade to play out, but I did take a partial below that low right there. So yeah, partial below that low there, and then moved to break even, and then obviously was stopped out at break even on the second contract as this trade was a 2 contract trade. So now let's go down to Friday's trade. Right, okay, so here we are on Thursday's price action. I did say Friday, I meant Thursday, leave me alone. As you can see, the overnight high during London actually went up and tapped this new week opening gap, and then I wanted to basically see us today respect this daily fair value gap, which I'll go onto the daily chart and show you. This white grey box here, that's the daily fair value gap that I wanted to see Thursday respect and then go down from, so which obviously that happened, so I was able to catch a trade off that. So because we reacted off this new week opening gap here and then came below the daily fair value gap, tested the new week opening gap low here one more time, so I was basically confident in this market structure being in place, like I was confident this high would not get taken. So from there I was able to look for a 930 short down to the lows formed here overnight. So this was the actual entry on the 2-minute chart again. So we had the 930 provide the displacement and the setup, the 2022 model. I then took a partial off below these lows, which actually is interesting that the micro, because on the micro contracts, you'll see when I show the executions, this low wasn't actually taken because the news event at 8:30 spiked down. So we still had equal lows here on the micro contract. So it made me a bit more confident to take the trade. So yeah, one partial off here. I think I entered this trade with 3 contracts. So I took 2 off below this low, which was about a 1 to 2.2 on the micro. Obviously it's different on the mini because it was about this low. So yeah, about 2.2, 2.4, and then the last contract was left until the lows, so about 120 points on that trade there. So that was definitely a nice one to see. But anyway, we'll get into the executions now so you can see that where the trades were taken. Okay, so here's the Monday's trade. I did actually enter this trade on the 3-minute. I didn't realize, sorry. It wasn't the 2-minute, like I just broke it down. It was actually the 3-minute. So obviously we have the exact same setup anyway, but I got in right at the low there at, as you can see, 20,787.5, so that is the entry right there because we had to include the volume imbalance that's in that fair value gap, and then partial off below that low down there, so like a 1.4 for that first one, and then I wanted to get down to the other lows with the second one, which was been around there somewhere, but obviously we stopped out break even on that trade. So yeah, that's the executions for Monday's trade, and then let's show the executions of Friday's trade. So here we are on Friday's trade. Obviously you can see you went short with 3 micros at 21,472.25, which was actually 3 ticks of drawdown on that trade. Wait, no, 1 point and 1 tick, so 5 ticks of drawdown on that trade, which is pretty damn good if I do say so myself. And then 2 contracts off. As you can see, this is the low I was talking about. We're on the micro contract. We still had equal lows here from this low and this low. So I took a partial off down there and then left the last bit of the trade to run down all the way to 21,300 53.0. So if we measure that just dead quick so I can see how many points that was. About a 135 point trade there for the full take profit. So not too bad to catch two over 100 point trades in 2 weeks. But yeah, that is all the trades I took this week, guys. So we will catch up with you next week.